Good morning. This is Ron Brown. It's Saturday morning, the 19th of March, 2022. Most of the video that you're going to watch was recorded 2 hours before the market closed yesterday because I didn't know if I was going to be able to get anything this morning or have time to do anything this morning or not. But I'm going to add to that video, and just remember that most of this video is from yesterday afternoon. There are a couple of reasons for that. I wanted to show the new scans that I put in this week, the accumulation scans, and also to talk about another scan, the undercut and rally. And those really need to be done with the intraday market going on. Anyway, this is my market report, and here's my standard risk disclaimer. You're responsible for all of your trading decisions. So if I mention a stock or an ETF that I like, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'll be buying it or you should be buying it. All trading strategies, once again, are at your own risk. Okay, let's take a look at the final settings. I'm going to go into my market analysis user groups, click on the warehouse view. Then I'm going to go up to my top-down process views for market analysis. Click on 0, 1. I'm sorted on raw combo. You can see that the Bitcoin Investment Trust closed strong. I don't know what Bitcoin closed at, but this is a proxy for it. Nasdaq 100, very strong. Nasdaq Composite. My sort here is on percentage price change 1 day. Let's take a look at the composite. I'll bring this chart up, and then I'm going to go to my market charts where I'm already there. So make this full screen. And yesterday morning I sent out a screenshot saying that if the composite got through this area right here, we're in the process of forming a strong W formation. And I began that W formation from here. Took it back to here, took it down to here, and then you can see now that it's broken past resistance. Of course, there's more resistance overhead. This here also looked like a strong rally, but it didn't get beyond this point. So we do have a W formed. The middle of the W is broken resistance. We also have an effort to rise today, which is very strong, bullish signal. Short-term trend is up. These VPA trends are still down. Let's see, we're down, only down 14.3% now from the 52-week high after being down more than 20% in a bear market. So based upon these numbers, we're officially out of the bear market. But will this continue? Nobody knows. But you need to make your own trading decisions and do your own market analysis because I'm so tired of hearing people and getting tweets saying this market's done, it's going to go down, this is just a 1 or 2 day rally and it's going to break below support. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We need to look at this, and what do we see? We see strength over here. Let me take this off of here and put a frame around here. Yesterday I said these were 3 white soldiers, which they are. They closed near their high. What do we have now? We have 4 white soldiers with the effort to rise on 2 of the 4. We had strong volume yesterday, but yesterday was it was either triple or quadruple witching. I can't remember. But anyway, it was a big options expiration day, which is going to add to the volume. Now, let's look at some other information here. I'm going to do an alternate. Click on this and do an alternate eye. Bring this up. I'll scroll down to the bottom and bring my frame back up. You can see that volume was 171% of the 90-day moving average. Volume changes up 48.3 from the prior day. And there's that 71.1 again. We had a pocket pivot Okay. Advancing versus decliners, it was really only about 2.3 to 1, so it wasn't extreme there. I thought it would be higher than that. Okay, here's the new highs versus new lows. It's going to take a while for that new highs number to really get up there since we're so beaten down. And the ARMS index was 0.5974, and that indicates strong buying when it's below the zero line. This is really an erratic indicator, but I do look at it. Okay, here's the advancing versus declining volume. You can see there's some billions of shares here, and the advancers were certainly more than the decliners. Let's see, what else do I want to look at here? I think I've covered most of the things I want to cover. We have gone, though, from E to D to C to B accumulation today. So things are looking pretty positive right now based upon this index. Let's do something else here. I'm going to go into I'm going to stay in the same folder, but I'm going to go down to the number 2 view, which lets these ETFs into the screen. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, but I want to go to a different chart here. I'm going to go down just to my daily analysis charts, and I'll just go to a daily VPA plain chart. So you can see that Bitcoin, the trust, rallied pretty sharply also. I'm going to go back to here. Let's take a look at performance this week. I want to do the percentage price change 5 days. You can see Bitcoin, the trust was up 12.5% this week. The SOX is up 9.2%. Biotech up 8.6%, and so on. What fell? The VIX, of course, or the UVXY fell the most. Silver was down. Gold was down. Gold miners. Oil was down, but it was up 1 point. This is the USO. Was up 1.3 yesterday. Beginning of the week, it's up 1.5, but down for over 5 days, minus 2.3. You can see that it fell off sharply after this selling climax and the high-legged or the doji cross. It's indecision, but that was the end of the rally for now. But then it came down here and rallied some more. But look at the volume. Volume's very light on yesterday's rally, and it was certainly much lighter than here on the extremes when the shorts got squeezed. But we're getting a couple of bullish VPA flags for now with the uncertainty in Ukraine. I have a feeling this oil is going to be all over the place. So just looking at this, you can see based on the percentage price change 1 day, most of the indexes were up. Let's do one more thing, and then I'm going to end this. I'm going to go into my broad markets, major indexes only. I'll click on that, and then I will move down to my ACSI analysis, go to number 3, which is demand supply in the major indexes, sort on raw combo, and you can see that the SOX, 27 advancers, 2 decliners, strength has been there all week. Look at this, these 3 efforts to rise, and once again, I would consider these white soldiers, so 4 of them breaking past resistance here. Pretty much looks like the composite. Let's look at the Nasdaq 100. Pretty similar, of course. But let's look at the advancers versus decliners. If we get down here, let's see, S&P 500 was about what the Nasdaq was, only 2.33 to 1. I would think it would have been higher than that, but still 2 to 1. Utilities, money not flowing towards utilities. Small caps were about 1.59 to 1. Okay, let's do one final thing. I'll use the S&P 500 since it's pretty indicative of the market. I'll quickly go to my HCSI index charts. Let's just look at chart number 6. And you can see that based upon the indicators I've had in here for years, that on this day right here, which would be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, buy signals went off. This is a tentative buy because that was a 3-to-1 day on advancers versus decliners, and advancing volume versus declining volume. Had these bars been 5-to-1 bars like the next day, this would have been dark green here. But this is a potential buy, and it's coming off with a pocket pivot to the bottom also, or on the bottom window also. So let's look over here. This is the last day. VPA trend, long, down, down. Short is up. Volume is well above average. Advancers versus decliners 2.33 to 1. And that's what we saw before. Okay, that's it. Right now the market looks strong. Obviously, we don't know how this will play out because, as I say at the end of the other video, the market will do just the opposite of what most people want it to do or think it's going to do. So you have to do your own analysis every day, and don't listen to the pundits. They don't know any more than you do. As I mentioned, I'm doing this with 2 hours left in the trading day, and this is a follow-up analysis of the composite, which I did this morning and posted on Facebook. Also, it goes out to the HCSI users and others. But what I'm seeing here on the comp, and unfortunately there is no volume on this chart for the comp intraday, but I am looking at another very strong white candle. I pointed out this morning that these 3 white candles are known as 3 white soldiers, and now we have another 4th white shoulder. I also pointed out that looking at this from this time period, here is a low, here is the middle of a W, here's another low somewhere in this area, and we're approaching this resistance area right here. And if this area is broken, that's also a very strong signal that this is going higher. And then if it gets clear, if the market or the comp gets up into this area above 1440, that would be more of a confirmation that this could well be on the way to some very substantial gains. Already the gains have been tremendous. I'm going to take a look here. Let's see if I've got this. I'm looking at the volume here on a 30-day chart of the NYSE and the Nasdaq. Now, this volume is really going to be skewed by the end of the day with options expiration, so I'm not going to spend any time on that. Instead, I'm going to get out of the Thinkorswim. But if you look over here on the left, you can see the composites up another 190 today, or 1.39% right now. Just backed off just slightly. I'm going to bring up a chart in HCSI. Here it is right here. I have the QQQ, which is representatives of the Nasdaq 100 stocks, and you can see the 4 white candles all closing at or near their highs on these 3 days, and if this continues, it's going to be the same thing today. I'm going to put a temporary arrow resistance over here, and you can see we're right up at resistance. And if you look down here at the volume, according to the present volume based upon a mathematical formula which compares today's volume with yesterday's at the same time, it's projected that the percent volume to the 90-day moving average volume, which is represented by the yellow line, is going to be about 11% above that. Now I'm going to draw a trend line. Normally I would like to draw it from the highest high, but we can fan this out and then just use this high here. And let's go through the highest high right here before the lowest low. And if I use that, this would be the highest high before the lowest low here or here. And that means that this downtrend line is broken. And if I redraw that and use this as the highest high before the highest low, you can see that the trend line is currently broken. Now, will this continue to go? Who knows? But if that W is formed, let's draw this again with the Qs. And this has been a tech rally. You can see that the W is being formed right here, and we're right at resistance now. Now, I don't know how this market's going to close. We'll just have to wait and see. But right now, with 4 white soldiers, that's a pretty powerful signal. Is it a guarantee? No, because there's so many things going on in the world with the Ukraine war and so on. The interest rates, inflation, but markets have a tendency to do what everybody or the majority doesn't think they're going to do. And it's just a way of giving pain to those who are on the wrong side of the market or not in the market if this continues to go up. Just a word of caution, by the end of the day, this green candle could turn into a red candle. I doubt if that's going to happen, but it's very possible. So anything is possible. Now I want to spend some time on this report looking at some other things. First of all, I haven't looked at this. We're going to do this together. I'm going to go to the major market ETFs. I'm going to click through to my warehouse view. I'm going to go to my top-down process for Etfs Analysis. I'm going to look at the ETFs intraday. And I'm sorted on raw combo, and you can see that risk is certainly coming back with the emerging markets portfolio leading. But that's with a combo intraday price range, intraday range. You can see it's trading at nearly, 98.48% of its daily range. It's up 1.60. That isn't the ETF that gained the most. If I sort on intraday percentage price change, it shows you that all of these ARC ETFs, which have been so beaten down, are rallying strongly again today. Let's just take a look at this one. This is the FinTech, and you can see the downtrend line. I'm going to go ahead and draw. I'll use this point right here. Let's just take it down. This will be the highest high before the lowest low, and you can see that this trend line too is broken to the upside. Volume's good. This day the volume wasn't so good, but the next two, and then this one here with the projected volume being strong, there are buyers coming in. There's no doubt about it. Let's see what else we have here. Get out of here. Bring this up. Okay, all the ARCs, emerging market, semiconductors again. This is the fourth day in a row that the semis have been strong. Here was a VPA flag here. Strength seen returning after a downtrend. Confirmed the next day, an up bar closing near its high. Confirms return of strength, effort to rise, bullish sign. And then we have very similar candles that we saw in the QQQs. So how many of these markets are up, or these ETFs are up? 25 of them. The spider, surprisingly, is not doing nearly as well. Today it's only up 0.12%, but it is up. Let me find the Qs in here. Qs are right here. I had this up earlier. What's the percentage gain here? 1.20. Okay, I'm going to move. Since this has been such a strong tech rally, I'm going to move into the major market index components. I'm going to go to the Nasdaq 100, click on it. Then I have to get another view here. I added a couple of scans for the Insider Club members. I did this yesterday, or day before yesterday. It's called accumulation intraday and accumulation with the fan up. You can see that there aren't any Nasdaq stocks when I click on fan up. They're just so beaten down. But if I do the intraday scans out of slightly over 100 stocks, these are the stocks which are showing strong accumulation today, and you can see this. It's NetEase is up 7.57% today, trading at 94.47% of its daily range, and that's what the combo is based upon, volume and range. So very strong accumulation on this today. Match Group, same thing, 96.42 up 6.23. Nvidia having another strong day, and Nvidia was under accumulation here. It went up, came back down, tested this area, and then there was an effort to rise the other day, and that would have been a wonderful time to get into Nvidia. I did not. That's my mistake, though. Anyway, these are under accumulation. Some of them, like this one, Starbucks, why is it down 37 cents? Well, it's down because it's still under accumulation. Notice the intraday range at 94.77. If I bring it up, you can see that there's a low volume test. It's still slightly lower than yesterday, but I'm interested in the range and the volume. Volume's a little above normal here, and the range is near the top, so consequently it's going to come up. Let's take a look at Ross Stores. This range is not as good at 82.56%. It's down slightly, but the volume is running slightly above normal, so it's under accumulation also. Okay, let's broaden this or go to a different group. I'm going to, one thing I like to look at in my non-index groups, I keep track of the perfect speculator stocks that have broken out recently to either a 52-week high or a 3.25-year high, and many to an all-time high. So if I use this accumulation intraday, sort on raw combo, here's a stock that is trading at 98.88% of its daily range. It's up 11% today. This has been a strong stock and a strong group for quite some time now. You can see where it opened today, where it is right now. I saw this one going up early this morning. And it's a very good example of a stock that's under accumulation. Now when it opened and it started moving up, it appeared in this screen immediately. Let's look at SBS. Same thing. It's up, trading near the upper part of its range. It's up for the day. The volume is above average. Wabtec, same thing. It's at 100% of its daily range. The gain, or the volume's at 150% of normal. So consequently, it's near the top of the list. Now, if I go down here to the bottom of the list, you can see that this stock is only at 62% of its daily range, but volume's above average. But it appears as a stock under accumulation anyway. I don't know if this is a buyout or what's going on, but it meets my criteria. Remember, all of these stocks are down no more than 15% from their 52-week high. I leave them in that folder unless they've fallen more than 15%, and then they come out. I clean them out every Saturday, or get rid of everything that's down 15%. And then I have a decent or a very good group of stocks to work with during the week. You can see that this is near a 52-week high right here under accumulation. Again, it would have shown up here, would have shown up here, would have shown up here, and it is showing up here. Now let's use this same group of stocks. I'm going to go into, I'm doing all this on the fly. I haven't looked at these today. I'm going to look at under my daily prospecting scans, I'm going to look for fan up, counter trend, 3 below the 6. But I want the intraday version. This is the way it looked last night. And this is the way it looks today. So these are stocks whose 3-day exponential moving average is down below the 6. And this happened 3 days ago on Neighbors Industries. And the volume point of control has been positive for 9 days. So what does that tell me? It tells me that there has been a slight pullback in Neighbors Industries, and today it's up 4.46%, trading at 100% of its daily range. Let's see if that's enough to generate a buy. And I'm using this chart, which I use for my undercut and rally signals, and you can see that Neighbors, the 3 was below the 6. You can see it down here in the histogram, but it's up today. So this is a nice scan to use on the following day or on any day to locate stocks that were in a counter trend but may be moving up to the upside today. Now here is one called Tenable Holdings. The 3 went down below the 6 days ago, with 0 being the crossover day, and the volume point of control went negative 9 days ago. Let's bring this one up, take a look at it. So here's where it crossed down, the 3 below the 6. The volume point of control crossed down clear back here, but you can see it turned green today, and also the 3 crossing the 6 today. These were accumulation days on the light green bars. This was a spinning top day. Really wasn't, it was a neutral day, but today, after this nice move yesterday, you can see that this stock moved up. So from counter trend to buy. Let's take a look at one more. I'm going to do this one. Let's see. SSRM, I'll just use it. The 3 went down through the 6 3 days ago. The VPOC turned positive yesterday. Let's take a look at it. You can see the VPOC turned positive yesterday, accumulation day, and today the 3 is crossing through the 6. Look at this nice run on the same signal. So this is a good one to use every day to look for stocks that have pulled back and then are going to the upside. Now I'm in my perfect speculator stock, so once again I know that these stocks have had a recent 52-week high and or a multi-year high. This is a good scan to locate stocks where you're not chasing. Okay, I think I'll do one more thing. I'm going to go back to all securities, and then I want to go back to those accumulation scans. Once again, if you're a member of the Insider Club, if you look at folder number 4, which is leaders most active, gaps, reversals, high volume, intraday, go down to folder number 8, click on accumulation intraday or intraday fan up. You can see there's a big difference here, 249 securities that are under accumulation today based upon my criteria, and they have to be above 60% or above on their daily range. Let me just resort this. You can see these are all 60% or above, and they have to have above average volume. If I sort on the raw combo, it's going to bring stocks to the top that are near the top of their trading range and are trading on heavy volume. I looked at this stock already. Let's look at PAGS. I'm going to go back to a black chart that I put in here with it. It also has intraday statistics. Look at this stock here. It gapped up and it would have been showing up. It was showing up in this screen early today. Okay, another under accumulation. Let's look at this one right here, 360 Finance, up 13.5% nearly, and trading at heavier, above average volume and at 93% of its daily range. That information is also here in this black chart, which you'll find under my black charts in my chart inventory. Now Kodak, I bought some of this early today. It was already up quite a bit, but the volume was tremendous, so I just went ahead and bought some, and I didn't buy much, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch it. If it continues to hold up or even go higher next week, I'll add to it. I didn't want to be buying up here and then have a losing position going into the weekend, but I got it, actually I got it down here. It was under 5, so I'm doing fine with it. But I found it here. Why? Because it was up at the top of the list. Look at this. It's up 31.36%, still trading at 81.51%, 83.51%, almost 1,000% on the volume, and it was trading at 100% of its daily range when I located it. This is a good scan, and it's going to be, I think, a very good scan. Now these are stocks, all securities, where the fan is up. So if you're looking only for stocks that have a fan up, this is the scan I would use. Let's look at Northern Oil and Gas. You can see nice accumulation today. There was accumulation yesterday too. Sold off a little bit, volumes above average, and so on. So if you're an Insider Club member, you can use these scans. You know where they are. If you're not a member, you can certainly join. That's where I'm going to leave it today. Actually, let's do this. Let's take a look at the composite. It's still trading at 94.58% of its daily range, up 1.38%. So it's getting up here to resistance. We'll see if it can break through this time. We had a strong rally back here, and then the market got up here and it stalled. It rallied again, stalled at the same place. So there are no guarantees. And with all the things that are going on in the world, I don't know how much risk traders are really going to want to carry into the weekend. Have a good weekend, and I'll post an update on the composite on Twitter and on the Facebook page and so on Monday. Thanks for listening.